Hey, folks, Wes Pruitt, 4 Star Sports Media. Hope everyone is doing well this Friday, August 23rd edition of the show. Wow, it is almost the end of August. We are creeping up on the month of September and as well as creeping up on college football season as it gets started. Whoo, man, just a little bit over 24 hours from right now, as my granddad would say, right now. Yeah, 24 hours away from right now, and college football will be back. We're gonna get all into it, as my granddad would say. So we're gonna get all into it today on the sports buffet, where you always leave full of nothing but sports talk. So let's go ahead and get into it. Got John started in the house with me today as well. So let's go ahead and hit this music and get into it. Thanks, folks.
The following is a production of 4 Star Sports Media.
Are you hungry? It's time to sit down and get full of sports on the Sports Buffet presented by 4 Star Sports Media with your host, Wes Pruitt.
Welcome into the show, folks. Wes Pruitt, 4 Star Sports Media. Appreciate everybody watching and listening over there at the live feed of the recording of the podcast. Hey, right over there, that's John Sturman. What's up, John? You're on mute, brother.
Well, Friday/Saturday.
Yeah, man. Gonna be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Welcome to the show. Hope everyone's doing well. Hey, folks, by the way, if you need tickets to any of this stuff, college football is right around the corner. College basketball is right around the corner. Man, there's NFL games going on now. If you do, we're here to help you, folks. Go over to SeatGeek. You can go to the website. You can go to the amazing app that they have, too. Go in there, create your login first off. Create your login, write your password down so you don't forget it. Then go over, find you any ticket, $50 or more. When you do, type in that promo code that you see bottom of the screen there. For those of you listening, it is 4 Star Sports Media. Just our name in one whack. All the way across. But 4 Star Sports Media, you type that in, it will save you $20 off that ticket purchase. And if you don't believe us, folks, just go try it and you will see for yourself. All right, John, let's get into it, man. It's time for the burning question. By the way, John did not know what these burning questions were. I threw that up after the fact. So, burning question is, what the heck is week 0? We hear it in high school ball. We hear it now in college football. So, we'll get into it at the end because we're going to be talking a little bit of high school ball at the end, so we'll answer this question. But what the heck is week 0? John, what's your thoughts on them using the week 0 title?
Well, I'll go ahead and say what I actually think about it, to be honest with you, regarding college football point of view. Let's just say it's like Hawaii playing an extra game like they are this weekend regarding opponents. You know, in years past, they play like a Division I school, and now they're playing a 1AA school this year in Delaware State. So it all gives a team that is playing the University of Hawaii out in the West Coast kind of like an extra game per se. That's why they call it the week 0 for a lot of teams in general, especially when they have a 12-game schedule where now they're adding a 13th game like the Hawaii game for an example. So that's one reason I think it's called Week Zero. Ever since a lot more teams are traveling out to the West Coast this early in the season on a kickoff. And that's why I think they call it.
It could be. It could be. That's a good point. So I didn't even think about that. Um, yeah, that's a great point, man. I kind of like it. I mean, hey, it's in my opinion, it's an extra week of college football that I get to watch, so
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. And man, there's nothing better. I mean, Saturday night's gonna be fun. Now, I mean, we are planning on going live Saturday night sometime around 9. Do a little bit of a recap show of the day so far, but I, I'll be up watching that Hawaii Delaware State game. That's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, John. Poll question number 1 is real simple. Are you watching football no matter who is playing this weekend? Yes or no? John, what about you?
Yeah, I am. Absolutely. It's like you brought up. It's Week Zero. It's time to get in the shoulder pads, time to get in the helmets. And as a lot of coaches used to say, it's time to loosen up and see how you do against the bad boys. Straight up facts, because like we brought up numerous times throughout the last couple weeks. Georgia Tech, Florida State, a lot of hype right now are still around Georgia Tech's offense versus Florida State's defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how the games are going. Of course, you got SMU favored by 27 at Nevada. You got Delaware State and Hawaii, like we brought up just a few minutes ago. And Montana State, a 1AA school, favored by 9 at last check at New Mexico. So who doesn't want to watch college football to see there's a 1AA school going to a Division I school right off the bat and upset that team? So I'm watching football no matter who's playing this weekend, to answer your question.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of upsets, do you root for upsets to happen? Yes, no, and well, only if it helps my team. So, I love a good upset, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love a good upset. I love a good upset that stirs the pot of college football even more. And I'll get to that when we get into next week's show. But I love a good upset, man. I don't necessarily always root for an upset,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of in the back of my mind, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, mine is yes, and only if it helps my team. Only if it helps my team regarding the college football playoff or basically the standings and whatnot regarding the top 25, because a lot of people are still thinking Liberty and Appalachian State and Boise in that Power 5 spot in general. The more that you see picks like that, makes you wonder why they're going to have a possible 13-0 Liberty team take over an 11-2 Memphis football team or something similar to that record down the road. So who doesn't love upsets? As you picked some of them on
Yeah,
the
man.
schedule.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yes, I have, man. I'm telling you. I think there's one a brewing tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. I've said it. I'll say it again. I don't care. I don't think you can take, and we'll get to it when we get into the game. I don't think you can take Georgia Tech lightly tomorrow. I mean, let's be honest, folks. There's only been one game that team's been preparing for since that game was announced. And once their 2023 season ended, it became Florida State target number 1. That's all they've thought about. Don't sleep on the Jackets, man. They will sting you. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's talk let's talk a little bit of WWE to get started. So, Fridays, man, we like to kick back and relax a little bit. So we talk a little bit of pro wrestling a lot of times on Friday. We'll start with WWE. So, John, my first question when it comes to the World Wrestling Entertainment is what WWE storylines are you enjoying and which ones are you not enjoying? I'll let you start.
Well, I'll do the we are enjoying ones first, and then I'll go with the we are don't enjoy at the moment. Um, the enjoy ones I'm going to go with. I'm still it's kind of like we have brought up. Um, what's going to happen when John Cena retires at the end of 2025? Is going to face a possible Randy Orton down the road because Randy Orton does have a title shot. I think it's next weekend, right? In Berlin, right? Yeah, it is next weekend. So so that's an interesting storyline right
Yep.
now to see if Randy Orton actually wins this title for number 15, I believe it is, or 16. But it'll be interesting down the road to see how that plays out because, like we said, John Cena's retiring at the end of next year. And then you still got the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre going at it. Now they got his belt taken off and he's getting attacked by his belt, and whatnot. And I'm still encouraged by this Judgment Day now since everybody has spoiled on Mommy and Damon Priest. And as Carlito say, that's cool. That is cool to see because just to see how they're actually seeing the storyline play out right now regarding that. And then, of course, you got Damon Priest and Ripley facing Dom and Liv Morgan down the next Saturday as well. So that's one interesting storyline. But I'm not tired of it per se, from I don't enjoy. But when are we going to see an actual match with Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable? I think it might be coming next Saturday. You never really know. But I'm not tired of it. That's one story I'm kind of not getting turned off by it. That's one kind of story I'm not enjoying at the moment just because I want to see a match. We thought it was going to be at SummerSlam when there was going to be a match, but there was no match there.
Right.
So what's really the hold up regarding a Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy matchup versus Chad Gable? So that's one reason I'm kind of I'm ready for it, but it's not going to happen.
Is that happening Monday night on Raw?
Possibly, but I haven't really looked at more in depth regarding next Monday yet.
I think it is. You brought up a great point. Dominic's the best heel in WWE right now. Obviously, folks, if you hear the name heel, the word heel, I'm talking about a bad guy. Not the bad guy, but a bad guy. Nobody will ever be the bad guy. That was Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. But, John, when you look at it, man, you brought up a great point. The way that they have kept this storyline moving forward with the Judgment Day, and a lot of people are complaining about the name as well. But when you look at the Judgment Day and how they've moved it forward, man, think about it from the very beginning, though, John. You had, at the time, Edge was the leader. They turn on Edge, and then now they turn on Damian.
That's cool.
So, I mean, but is Dom the leader of the Judgment Day? Is Finn the leader of the Judgment Day? I mean, I'm guessing it's Finn. Now, what Finn did at that last pay-per-view was absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That was so cool. I mean, no pun intended there with Carlito. But I thoroughly enjoy this storyline. Thoroughly enjoy it. It's a lot of fun to me. I like the Wyatt Six, and we're going to talk about them in just a minute. But I like the Wyatt Six. I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe that Bo Dallas will be on Monday Night Raw against one of the Creed brothers, I think. I don't think it's Chad Gable. I think it's one of the Creed brothers. But anyway, I agree with you there. I do want to, but in my opinion, what made Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt as the theme, just Bray Wyatt, just all of that encompassed into one. What made that so special is because it wasn't there every week. We didn't have to see it every week to be excited about it. I like the fact that they continue the stuff. I love the Nikki Cross aspect. Excuse me. They could utilize her a lot more because she's creepy as hell, man. When she's crawling out like the freaking girl from the ring, man, that is, whew, it's creepy, dude. It is creepy, man. I, I love it. I think the Wyatt Six is fun. I love the fact that you bring Eric Rowan back. Then you throw in John Wayne Gacy and you throw
Mhm.
in Dexter Loomis, and that's two other guys that have kind of been. I mean, as they've talked about it, I mean they've kind of been outcast a little bit. Um, Another thing that I thoroughly enjoy, and he's gone now. Well, we'll still see him on Saturdays, but he's gone from WWE commentary until January. That's Pat McAfee. I said it when he first started on commentary, and I'll say it again. He is the next level of commentary in WWE. He's that next tier
Mhm.
that's going to go up even higher than Michael Cole has. When you look at the way Michael Cole, and I mean, I've been watching Michael Cole since he first started in WWE as a backstage guy, getting thrown around thrown on the wall by everyone. Everybody picked on old Michael Cole back in the day. But when you look at him now and look at how he's evolved and look at how he's having fun at the commentary table, and I love the little camera that's right in front of them that shows
Right.
them when they're laughing with each other and stuff. I love that. Michael Cole has learned through Pat McAfee that you can take chances in life, and it's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay to get right on the edge and see what happens. Take chances. That's what Pat McAfee's done. That's what he's done his entire career. Think about it, John. And
Mhm.
we'll get it more into college football in a minute, but it's somewhat WWE related. Pat McAfee missed two kicks in the first quarter of a game that could
Right.
have ended up sending West Virginia to the national championship. Pat McAfee received death threats, old school death threats, by the way, not not keyboard death threats. That changed him. I mean, he's talked about this in a podcast with he's on the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and what's his name, um, Matt Barnes, and he talks about it. He said it calloused him. He said it changed him. He said and it made him just want to do things the way he wanted to do things. Look at him now. Man's on college game day, ripping his shirt off with a belt buckle this big, completely fooled the entire Georgia fan base last year. That is one of the greatest college game day moments of all time. But then you look at what he's done with his with his show, obviously. But then now with WWE, I mean, when that man gets on the freaking thing and starts doing like this,
Yeah.
and he screams out, "I'm yeeting all over myself." I mean, that is grade A stuff in commentary because it makes the person viewing, the viewer, it engages them. It makes them laugh. I mean, dude, I die laughing every week listening to him. And it's not really what he says. It'll be like something happens and then Pat will make a comment. Or now, like I said, Michael Cole will make those comments. And you can hear the other one laugh at each other. So that is one aspect. And it's not really, I guess you wouldn't say it's a storyline, but it's an aspect of WWE that I love. And that's Pat McAfee, man. I really do.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing that you just brought up, basically regarding Pat, but it's not really like a storyline, like you said. But it is a storyline in a way, just the way that he has not only grown as a person from this. Heck, he's gone through a lot in the last couple of years regarding him and his wife having like a miscarriage, I believe, at one point, and now they have a kid,
Yeah.
per se. And
Yeah.
it's just good to
Little
see
nine
Pat.
month old or
Yeah,
but young baby. Yeah.
it's just good to see Pat now, like he has done numerous times on his own private jet, and whatnot. Rather Monday night flight or whenever the Raw is, it feels like he's just flying in there on a Monday and then going straight back to Indy on a Tuesday. Regarding his like right after Raw gets over, how does his prep time more kudos to him, first of all, because when does he have time to prep for all this stuff regarding not only his show, but wrestling behind the scenes as well? Because as much as I do, I think what he does also sometimes is goes to SmackDown on Friday nights and preps for that, just to be on the safe side. And then, of course, ESPN can basically fly him right after SmackDown gets over, and then just go to College Game Day right after that, like Kirk Herbstreit does for the Thursday Night Football, like he did last night. And now he's probably flying across the ocean right now to get to Dublin.
Yeah.
So more kudos to Pat, as he would say. Thank you, Pat. Like the other day, thank you, Pat.
Oh yeah.
And like we brought up this week, he's the next face of Lee Corso whenever Lee Corso steps down, and it definitely shows.
No doubt.
All right, man.
Let's jump over.
The more you think about Pat, that's his great role, being in football and wrestling in general.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm a big Pat McAfee guy. I really am. All right, man. Up next, let's jump over to AEW. A hot topic is the pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. But tomorrow's Sunday, 1 to 2. But it's on Sunday. But it's on Sunday. All in. It's in London. It's at Wembley. It's at Wembley Stadium. So John, rumor has it that there may be a couple of debuts. And I'll mention, one name's on screen. That's Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
But what about Bobby Lashley? It's another name. Both of them no longer with WWE. I don't know about the non-compete. I don't know that Triple H even does those like Vince did. I mean, Vince had you handcuffed to where you couldn't do nothing for a while. But man, imagine what happens if Mercedes Moné wins a match and then all of a sudden the lights go out, they come back on, and whammo! There's Becky Lynch standing in the ring. The place is gonna erupt. Do you think it could happen though, John?
Becky Lynch going to, or is this as going to AEW in general, or just showing up?
I mean, if she shows up, she's pretty much there.
First of all, I had no idea that this was going on. So this is all kind of new to me because I haven't really watched that much AEW regarding this lately, to be honest with you. But
AEW's on fire right now. This All In is their biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah.
It is their WrestleMania, is how I look at it. It's their biggest event of the year. Is
Becky's contract up right now with WWE, or what's really going on?
Yeah. No, contracts. It's out of there. It's done. Same with Bobby Lashley. Yeah. No. You're good. Same with Bobby Lashley as well, man. I think Bobby, obviously we're probably not the only person to ask this question.
Yeah.
Do I think it could happen? Yeah. I think Tony Khan could definitely throw money at Becky Lynch. The problem is this. I don't get me wrong. You know this. I'm a big proponent of AEW, big fan of AEW. You've already got, 3 shows a week?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you're going to over-dilute. But, I mean, your roster is... Your roster can only be so large. Because everybody's going to have to get their work in, right? So, I mean, that's where things change. Because Becky Lynch comes in. You've already got Britt Baker. She's back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Mercedes Moné. You threw fat cash at her to get her over there. I mean, Just 3 women right there. Your salary cap's up there if you're Tony Khan. I just don't know that you can bring in Becky Lynch.
I'll
Now,
say
like you said,
I'll say no right now. Then
yeah,
yeah.
like to your point, could she show up, be a distraction, haha, laugh, and then we never really? It could be a one-off. Yes, it could. Just to flip that wrestling world on their head real quick. I think that would be the best way to do it. Not necessarily quote unquote sign her, have her show up, do something. What the crap, Becky Lynch?
Mhm.
And then she ends up in Japan or something. You know what I mean? Like or TNA or now here's the thing: if she ends up in TNA and WWE have a little partnership type thing going on right now.
Mhm.
So if that ends up happening, she really never left. You know what I mean?
I'll go ahead and say no to Becky Lynch because I don't think it's. I mean, if she shows up, great. It might be like we just
Yeah.
brought up a one-time adventure and spoil somebody, and whatnot, and say or interfere in the match, and then that's the rest you hear about it. But you brought up a great point regarding Becky. With the Seth Rollins storyline right now, saying he's injured per se,
Yeah.
when we really know what's really going on, I think he's just taking a few months off, whatnot. But I think the 3-day travel for Becky Lynch would probably be a little bit too much for her because one, you still got Seth. Whenever he does come back, he's still going to be the face of WWE. He's going to be going to Monday Night Raw. He's still going to Friday Night SmackDown. He's still going to help his boys Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at times probably too. And I think right now with Becky being gone 3 days out of the week, how's she going to be? I know with different scheduling per se with your husband as Seth freaking Rollins, how are you going to be around him and your daughter that is maybe a few years old now, whatnot. So family time will kind of be interesting for her because she'll be gone, like you brought up, with some Wednesdays the regular live on TNT, and then you got Friday whatever, and they usually host like a show on Friday night in somebody's city, and then Saturdays in somebody's city as well. So you pretty much be going to be gone Wednesday through Sunday per se, in general. Then you got to get back out there on Tuesday morning. So I think might see her, but not for like another few months down the road if you do see her on an AEW roster. But you brought up Bobby Lashley. I won't be surprised if Bobby Lashley shows up in London this weekend because, like you said, his contract is up. I guess we could see Ricochet also this weekend since he's officially now signed, to that AEW now. So that'd be kind of interesting to see this weekend as well.
Very true, man. Very true. All right, John. It's time to get into football for the rest of the show. We're going to start with the Great American Conference as we continue to yak about the GAC a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
John, have you ever heard of Henderson State University, John?
I have.
You have.
And I know,
Okay.
and I know they're slow.
Did you know that they're right across the street from Ouachita Baptist?
I did. They're like a meet from me to you on
Do what?
Facebook. It's like this within like a 2-mile walk tops maybe for people, but it's more like a half of a mile walk.
Yeah, it's like 0.08 miles. But yep, 0.08 miles. The Reddies, which is their mascot, will kick off the 2024 season coming up on September 14th at Carpenter Haywood Stadium as they take on the southeastern Oklahoma State football program. Henderson State is coming off 14 after claiming they're also looking to claim their 4th Great American Conference title. The Reddies have posted back-to-back 9-win seasons in the last 2 years, and they're set to return roughly 70% of their starters from last season. In preseason, Henderson State was picked to finish 4th in the Great American Conference. John, when you look at Henderson State, I mean, a lot of these Arkansas Great American Conference schools are very similar. You see a lot of Arkansas talent, local talent on these teams, as well as other states as well. But I mean, it pretty well starts and stops with the offense in this team. Quarterback, redshirt junior quarterback Andrew Edwards came from Bentonville High School. Is back to start for the Reddies again. He led the Great American Conference last year, John. 2,979 yards passing and total touchdowns of 39. Johnny 17-5 on the season. I expect another really good season. And then he would also have 254 yards and 3 touchdowns against Ouachita last year to help them lift the Reddies to their first Battle of the Ravine victory since 2015.
Wow.
That's big. So, John, when you look at the Reddies, rolling.
Yeah, I think this Henderson State team, to be honest with you, I think their defense is going to be the key this season, as they are led by so many good players on that side of the football, in general. And then for them to have a chance by their defense this year, if they can get some turnovers in some key games, like 2 or 3 turnovers on the defense side of football, then I think this team could very well win 7 or 8 games this year in general.
That would be very, very interesting to see, man. That would be very, very interesting to see. Another part of this team that I'm really interested in, man, is their special teams. Kobe King was one of 3 great American kickers last year to tie for first place with 11 field goals made on the season. He will once again be sharing the kicking and punting duties with Axel Robertson, who had a 55-yard punt against Southeastern Oklahoma State last November. Cameron Thomas is set to return kicks after putting up 27 yards per return in 2023, an average that put him 1/10 of a yard shy of the conference lead in that category. I will say that again. Wow. Cameron Thomas is set to return kicks after putting up 27 yards per return, 1/10 of a yard shy of the lead in that category. Wow. He would return a 72-yarder for a touchdown last year against Northwestern Oklahoma State. Pocahontas High School native Devin Adams is back to return punts, as well as after averaging 8 yards per return in 2023. The Reddies are going to be – they're ready, John. They're out of camp. They are ready to get this thing going. They're excited. They got a Battle of the Ravine, big win last year. Got that monkey off the back. And they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. We will be on the Great American Conference Media Days next Tuesday. We will be on the call for Henderson State. We'll be on the call for Ouachita as well next Tuesday. Yeah, they had to change it. They had to reschedule it. So it is next Tuesday. Yep. It's next Tuesday. I got an email from Eric Moyer yesterday on it. So, yeah, the Reddies are ready. They're going to be excited. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. The Great American Conference it's an exciting conference. They get a lot of things going over there, and they put up some points, buddy. And they've got the defending national champion. So I figure this is going to be a lot of fun to talk about all year. The Bison, as we've talked about in week 1, are back as well. All right, John, it's time to do it, dude. Let's just get into some college football. We got about 40 minutes left. That's plenty of time. Talk a little college football, talk a little NFL, and then we'll close out with a little prep report from Johnny Boy over there. All right, man. From Dublin to Hawaii, week 0 is here. It kicks off. It all starts tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. local time here in Central Time Zone of the United States. Georgia Tech, the rambling wreck from Georgia Tech, rambles over to Dublin to take on Florida State. As I've said before, this is their third there being Georgia Tech. It's their third consecutive year to start at a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State fans, speaking of Kirk Herbstreit earlier, John, Florida
Mm-hmm.
State fans are going to love him over there. Whoo, buddy. Get ready, Kirk. They're going to say some stuff to you, bud. Holy cow. Man, between Kirk Herbstreit and Paul Feinbaum, they are stuck in living rent free in Florida State fans' minds. It's 2024, and you better get ready for Georgia Tech, as I said yesterday on my personal social media. John, let's go start. Let's go ahead and start there, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Yeah.
fun game. I love this game. I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the fact that we get to get up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning and start our college football year every year. Um, and it's freaking Ireland. So those folks over there are nuts, bro. They have fun with it. It's a different crowd. I kind of equate it to a like a crowd from overseas in WWE. It's just a different. It's the same. You watching the same thing, but the reaction you're hearing is different from the crowd. It's more energized, to be honest with you. First off, let me ask this:
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Florida State fan, John, if you're a Georgia Tech fan, you
Mm-hmm.
make this trip, right? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, you make it absolutely. Didn't Nebraska go a couple years ago as well? So,
Yeah,
and we know, I know a Nebraska fan that actually got to go to that. A matter of fact, so hearing it from a Nebraska fan, shout out to Mister Quinn over, who's a big Nebraska fan in the state of Missouri that I know pretty well. So shout out to Quinn. Um, so he got to go a couple years ago when Nebraska actually got to, and he said it's once in a lifetime thing, like you just brought up, and you absolutely whatever you got in your savings account, put it in your checking account and deposit that, and put it on a plane ticket, that type of stuff. Because as Pat brought up yesterday on his show, Pat McAfee, how many fans are going to be showing up on both sides of Georgia Tech and Florida State? I think you see, like he said, 25,000 people on each fan base actually made this trip. So just to see it happen, in Dublin, where Seamus is
yeah.
the guest speaker, in College Game Day now, as that's been announced. And of course, they're going to be drinking pretty much all day down there in Dublin. That's what they're popular for, is a lot of alcohol. So I think you definitely make the trip if you can afford it. Yeah, absolutely. And I also think it's kind of interesting, per se, from the offensive point of view from Florida State. How are they going to be? They got 10 veteran players coming back this year. How are they going to experience one, the time zone, 6-hour time difference? And I'm still trying to figure out how many days in advance Georgia Tech and Florida State might have got there in advance to prep for this type of football game. And imagine your equipment also flying, on a different. You can't get on a bus trailer across the ocean. So I hope all your equipment made it in time as well.
Difficulties. there. My StreamYard completely just closed out on me. So y'all are seeing me up there on a different camera angle than you are down here. So sorry. Great job, John. I mean, all through my headphones. But anyway, yeah, computer's freaking out. It's all good. Um,
They're ready for football too.
I hope y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me?
Go ahead, you're good.
Start there. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. Good. Good, good, good. We're back on track. Dude, it is live. You know, when you do things live, this is what happens. You have no freaking net. You gotta go with the flow. All right. So Dublin. John broke it all down right there. Um, Still, give me Georgia Tech, man. You get this win tomorrow. I've got Georgia Tech getting the win. Um, I just think it's a literal trap game for Florida State. Um, could I be wrong? Yeah. Am I? I don't know. Do I care? No. Not a bit. All right, John. Let's run through the games. If you can give me game, give me let's just play a little bit of quick over under, John. Give me the
Okay.
game, give me the over under, and we'll go from there.
All right, cool. Florida State, Georgia Tech, over and under, I would say it'd probably be 55 or so for that game. You just don't know what to expect. Regarding a Florida State defense that is kind of young in some spots in that secondary. And that's one reason I think the over and under is going to be at 55 in this game. Plus, the point spread's 11. I think that point spread is a little bit too much when it first came out. I still think it is. So the point spread, if you're a Florida State fan, don't even touch it because it does concern you going in this game.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt, man. You talked about it earlier. Montana State coming in favored the Bobcats. Wow. I mean, yeah, you got to watch out for the Bobcats. Do you take them, John? I mean, do you? If you're a gambling person, you throw $5 on the Bobcats. Hey, you hit it great. You don't, and it's $5.
As I'm going to FanDuel right now as we speak on that game, we'll see what the latest is on that game. But from experience point of view, I think you would take a 1 AA Montana State just because they've been so good in their division. And New Mexico has been struggling the last couple of years, and they got Bronco Mendenhall as their new coach. So definitely it's going to be I mean, oh my gosh, the point spread has gone up, folks, to 13.5 now for Montana State. That is favored by 13.5 right now, according to some FanDuel out there right now.
13.5. Hold on. Montana State is favored by over New Mexico by 13.5.
That is the up to date line. It was like we talked about. It was like 9.5 early in the week, but in the over and under right now is at 50. So I was right on the money. The Florida State Georgia Tech game is over and under according to FanDuel right now is at 55.5. Montana State New Mexico over and under is at 54.5.
Oof.
The point spread is 13.5 now for Montana State to cover the 13.5. Where early in the week, I think it was at 9.5. And right now, I'm not 13.5 is a lot of points for Montana State to cover. But I will definitely not be surprised if they do cover just because New Mexico's got a new coaching staff with Bronco Mendenhall and the Montana State, the Bobcats, are so good in that Big Sky Conference as they usually are year in, year out. But so let's just say we place a bet right now for Montana State to cover the 13.5. It is at minus 112. Money line is at minus 550. And then over and under is at minus 110. So if you do a money line bet for $5, you only win 91 cents. So of course you got to put like at least 20 to 30 out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was just using 5 as an example, but
Right.
man, Montana State 13.
I don't think,
Ooh,
I don't think they cover
man,
it. I don't think they cover it. I
I
think the
don't.
game is like I think it's 10.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think they win by 10 or 9 or something. Like I don't. I mean, I don't know. All right, John. So give me the under on the Florida State game,
Okay.
and then give me the under on the Montana State game. All right, what you got next down there on FanDuel?
On FanDuel is SMU Nevada. SMU is now it's
That
only
line
gone
was
down
like 20, 21, 27,
yeah,
something like that.
27 it was 27 and a half to start the week. So it's only going down a
Yeah.
point now. It is now down to 26 and a half on point spread. Money line minus 4,000 for SMU, plus 1,400 for Nevada to win straight up if you're believing that Nevada Wolfpack. And then the over and under also for that game is 55 and a half as well. So minus 110 odds for both of them for the over and under right now as we speak on FanDuel.
And what's the over under? What's the over on that?
55 and a half as well. And I think, to be honest with you,
And they're loving that. Vegas is
I
loving
think
that 50.
hey, it might be over for that. It might be over, man. The way that SMU offense is, I can see that game being 55.
I think SMU can score 55 by themselves.
Yeah, 55 in the first half.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I know preseason I said I thought Clemson was going to be back. I thought Florida State was going to be good. Don't sleep on SMU, folks. Don't do it, because I'm telling you, Preston Stone and Rhett Lashley and company, I've seen it live, folks. That team is potent, very potent. All right, John, let's do one more game real quick from this week, and then we'll jump over to NFL. If you want to flip over on FanDuel to NFL too, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Delaware State, Hawaii is the last game of the day. Delaware State is now 39 and a half underdogs. And do they make it to Hawaii yet? First of all, after
they're there. Yes.
Yeah.
What a crazy story that was.
Yeah.
Man.
But 39 and a half underdogs right now. No money line bet is on there right now. The over and under for that game, 56 and a half.
Oh.
We're not laughing at this line, people.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm just, it's every number's been the same this week. Every number.
I'll say under just right now because I think you'll know what to expect on Hawaii's offense.
That's what I was just about to say. I think Hawaii is going to be a little bit improved. I don't want to say much improved. I'll say improved. And just like Montana State, this is Delaware State's circled game of the year. Is it Hawaii? Yeah. They don't care.
No.
You're going to Hawaii and beating them if you can. So, I mean, obviously Delaware State's going to come in and do everything they can. I think there's a level of, I don't mean this in any negative way, I think there's a level of talent disparity. And I think Hawaii wins. But god dang, 56? Shit, that's a lot of points. You know what, man? I'll go the over on that. And you can make notes on these if you want to. I'll go over the I'll go the over. I'll go the over. I think Hawaii wins. Man, every freaking game this week is 54 and a half, 55 and a half, 56 and a half. Okay. It is what it is. Hey, look, we'll start digging into it next week on the buffet as well. We're gonna start looking at, you know what I want to start doing?
What's that?
I'm gonna start on Monday, getting the lines and starting a segment on how much they move throughout the week through to Friday. Because I think that, and obviously there's a lot of things that go into that, but I think that tells a bigger story than a lot of people realize. So we'll start doing that on the show too.
Or even on like Wednesday night or Wednesday morning when we do a show per se, because think about it, Thursday night there's some interesting matchups as well. So right now we get Colorado still favored by 8 over North Dakota State. I'm telling these folks, that's an interesting game.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've been saying that since I saw it scheduled.
Yeah.
That game is going to be won in the trenches. And North Dakota State's not really a team that you want to just belly up and go against in the trenches. They're nasty. On both sides, by the way, offense and defense. All right, man. Let's jump over to NFL real quick and talk about the preseason as it comes to an end. But with everything that comes to an end, that means something else starts, and that means the regular season is right around the corner. I don't know why I've been saying that like that today, but here we are. Yeah, man, preseason is coming to an end. I'm talking with a woman named Candy Walker that covers the Washington Commanders. Probably going to have her on sometime next week as well to talk a little NFL, talk a little Washington. Yeah. Man, I'm very intrigued by this Commanders team. I like Jalen Daniels a lot. I like that kid. And I'm very, very interested to see what they do. Now, we know they just got rid of Jahan Dotson. Talk with Candy a little bit about that as well. All that move is because this management team currently in Washington, he did not fit what they wanted. That's all it was. That's all it was. I mean, Candy told me straight up, look, I like the guy. The guy's talented. She did a full piece on him last year. She told me she sprinted across the media floor when she saw him heading to his media table, and he made a comment about, girl, you just ran all the way across this floor just to come over here and ask me a question. She said, yep. So, that's just dedication to the craft, man. But let's go ahead and dig into the NFL preseason. Of course, we won't see starters this week. And it's the last one, John, before the final cut. So yeah, that's every player's breathing like that today. I mean, what's your thoughts, man? Because I think that like, for example, we saw the Bears take on the Chiefs. Obviously these games don't matter. They don't, as far as wins and losses on the season, they don't matter. But there's a lot more to me that goes on to these games than just wins and losses. I mean, there's guys that are out there on special teams that are literally fighting for their livelihoods to continue their dream of playing football.
Yeah, you brought up special teams. I'll say a player right now that it's going to be interesting to see if he actually, how they handle him going forward. John Plumlee from Central Florida / Ole Miss, because right now they're using him as a kick returner specialist. The same thing like they used for like Calvin Austin last year, and whatnot, to see actually how he does. So it's going to be interesting to see if John Plumlee actually makes an NFL roster per se regarding. Not see, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. One, they didn't use him as like a slot receiver just to see how he does actually as a receiver. But I think they're going to be using him pretty much as a kick return specialist. I mean, they're so depth at receiver, don't get me wrong. But it don't hurt to put John Plumlee out there as a receiver just to see how he does. Because think about it. If you can put the two fastest younger generation out there, and Calvin Austin and John Plumlee on the field at the same time, look out. But I know the quarterback, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields right now aren't showing what they're up to or up to par. But if you can ever get that figured out with Coach Tomlin, regarding that. But if you can keep Plumlee, for example, this week after all the cuts are made, I want to see how Plumlee and Calvin, or unless they're in the same receiving position, I want to see how Plumlee and Calvin Austin work together on that field at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, man, Tomlin's so damn good, man. I'm such a Tomlin guy.
Right.
Running it. Speaking of Mobile, running into him down in Mobile, and just getting to watch how he does. He's down there. When he hits that field, he's coaching. He's walking down to the lineman drills. He's talking to him. The guy's coming off. He's tapping him on the helmet. He's talking to him about. I mean, it's he is engaged in everything that he does down there. And I'm really excited to get back down there this year, man. I really
They're
am.
by 7. Speaking of the
Yeah.
Steelers, they're playing by 7 this weekend against Detroit.
Yeah. There you go. So, John, let's get into some games as they close out the regular season or the preseason. Let's go ahead and play a little over under NFL. We're going to do this during the NFL season too. Folks, we're going to do over under through all sports seasons, including college baseball. So get ready, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it, John. Over under NFL preseason. We're picking over under preseason. I love it. All right, man. Let's go ahead and do it. Over under. Let's go ahead and start. Let's start with your boys, John, the Dallas Cowboys.
First of all, who? The Dallas Cowboys. No,
Yeah,
bro.
man. Yeah.
Uh,
Aren't you a Cowboy guy?
No, let's shout out to Christian Johnson right there for being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, it is.
And,
CJ.
No, shout out to Christian Johnson right there. But man, Cowboys. What do y'all got going on this weekend?
The Cowboys will cowboy.
Are y'all actually going to compete against the
No
LA
doubt.
Chargers? It's going to be an interesting setup because you got John Harbaugh, who hasn't won a preseason game yet, versus good old Mike McCartney on that sideline. And the Cowboys got so many question marks on both sides of the football right now regarding certain players. But yeah, Cowboys, Chargers right now, according to FanDuel. Here you go. Cowboys are favored by 3.5, and the over and under is at 56. No, I'm kidding. The over and under is at 33.5 in
I was
that
about
game.
to say, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Ain't no way.
It's 33.5, but
Okay,
yeah, it's
all right.
33.5. I'll say you go under
So
that
Dallas
one.
is at home, right?
Yeah, Dallas is at home.
Okay, so they're getting a half point. So their home team, they get 3 automatically. So it's a toss up, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a preseason shit. Give me over. Because I mean, crap. Give me over just because it's not 55. Give me the over. I mean, I jokingly say that. And then I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, look, dude, Trey Lance is a very interesting piece to that offense. Cooper Rush is also a very interesting piece to that offense.
Vaughn, running back from Kansas State.
I was just about to say, yeah, him. I mean, there's interesting pieces all around that Dallas team. But give me the Chargers to end the preseason with a dub. I mean, come on. Their coach is a winner. Does he cheat? Yeah. But is he a winner? Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Chargers too. I just don't know what to think about this Cowboy team right now, to be honest with you. A lot of people are still thinking the Cowboys could win the division over the Eagles. So yeah, give me the Chargers, man. I think Harbaugh gets his first dub going into the season.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. What we got next?
And another one that's kind of interesting out there is the 49ers and Las Vegas Raiders matchup. Really don't know what to expect, regarding the 49ers on how they're going to handle stuff going on in the next couple weeks before the season starts. Are they finally going to be able to trade Brandon Ayuk, receiver?
Ayuk.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Are they finally going to be able to trade him? That's the real question regarding the 49ers. 49ers are 7.5-point favorites. Over and under for that game is 32.5. And then, of course, you got Jimmy Garoppolo with the good old Vegas, or not Jimmy Garoppolo, but Gardner Minshew and company regarding the Raiders. I'll apologize, but yeah.
Minshew Mania, baby.
So it'll be interesting to see how the good old Raiders compete in this final preseason game.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, John, real quick, what's the Titans line this week?
That was my next game, but that was actually The line is 3.5 for that one. Titans are favored. Over and under for that game is 36.5 as well.
All right, give me the 30. That 30's an ugly line.
Yeah.
Give me the over. I mean, crap. I figure one team can score 20 points by themselves, right? You would think.
Yeah.
The other team should be able to score 10. I mean, that's 30 right there. Yeah, give me the over. Give me the over in both those games. Now, the Titans game and the 49ers game before. And give me the Titans to get the win.
Yeah, I'll say
I
go
like
ahead and
Callahan, man.
give me the over on the 49ers Raiders matchup, as that, like we brought up, 32.5. But the
Yep.
Titans game, give me the under, and I got the Titans winning that game. But what do you think the Titans do with Malik Willis going forward? Do you think they keep him, or do you think they get rid of him?
Man,
Especially when you got Mason Rudolph now.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean,
I like the pick when it
first
came out.
off, I still like it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I still like the pick. But first off, Will Levis can't do what he did in game one. And he quickly equated to that in his post game press conference.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get your butt down. You're in the NFL now.
Well, I don't even think he plays at all this weekend, of course. But,
Oh no. He won't.
yeah.
Callahan's already said that. So you'll see Rudolph, you'll see Willis. I think Willis showed last week he can play in the NFL. I mean, I think he's shown since he's been in the league he can play in the NFL. I'm not a huge Mason Rudolph guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now that may change, watching and all that with the Titans. But I'm just not he's never just blown me away at the quarterback position. I can't say that about Malik Willis, John. Malik Willis has blown me away watching him play at the quarterback position before. Now, albeit it wasn't in college, yes. But I don't care. Talent's talent. Talent transfers. Anybody, don't forget, there was people that questioned Lamar Jackson coming out of Louisville, going to the NFL, if he could transfer to the league. I would say Lamar Jackson has transferred to the league quite well. Quite well. I think Malik Willis has that in him to do. I'm not saying Malik Willis is going to be Lamar Jackson. Don't misquote that. What I'm saying is I think that Malik Willis, in the right situation, I think Callahan's offense works with him. Plus, he has weapons around him now. Yes, he had Derrick Henry. I understand that. But now he's got Pollard, Spears, Haskins, honest to God, Chestnut back there can play as well. He's fourth string. For those of y'all who don't know who that guy is. That he can move the ball with. Plus, you got Traylon Burks, who, yes, he got injured the other day in practice. I think he's okay. I haven't talked to Wes or Teron Davenport yet to find out. But he's got talent around him that can make things work. Now, the question with the Titans is offensive line. Can the offensive line keep him, anybody who's playing quarterback, can they keep them upright? I think they can. I think, John, to answer your question, that was it's a really long answer, sorry, to a really simple question. But I think when you look at this Titans team, I think at the end of the day, it's Will Levis, Malik Willis, and then you see them go either sign a free agent guy or go draft a guy next year, not top tier, but just go draft a guy next year and bring him in to learn the system. I think Will Levis is a future, but I think that they've got I think they drafted Malik Willis for a reason. I will never believe that Malik Willis was drafted to be the future quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean that in a mean way. I just think you draft potential. You draft young talent. But you drafted a guy that can be a hell of a backup, and or somebody gets hurt, he can slide in and keep your offense being productive. I think that's what you get with Malik Willis.
Yeah, I
Could I
could
be
agree
wrong
with
on that? Yeah, I could be
Yeah.
completely wrong on that. But that's what I'm, in my opinion, after watching this team, after really diving into their games. I mean, keep in mind, I sit down and watch their all 22 film every single game. I sit down and I watch meticulously how these guys are playing. And all
Mhm.
22 shows you two different looks. So you can see coverage, you can see line, you can see how they react. I've watched. I sit down and watch them every single week, and I will continue to do that throughout the week, throughout the season. So essentially, we're breaking down the Titans film every week. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to it, buddy. It's
Yeah.
it's it's your time. It's your time, not me. It's all you. You're about to be the only one on screen. It is time for the Memphis Prep Report with John Sturdivant. So let's go ahead and get into a week one preview. And really, it's a little preview of John's new show called Inside the Lines.
Yeah, I was gonna say first of all, tomorrow evening, maybe in the 7 o'clock hour, roughly around 7 o'clock or so, we're gonna be doing a live version of a new show called Inside the Lines. I'll get a little bit more in depth why it is called Inside the Lines tomorrow evening. But be on the lookout sometime on around that 7 o'clock hour regarding Inside the Lines. It's going to be numerous topics regarding high school football to high school basketball to high school baseball to NBA talk to college football talk to NFL talk. It's just going to be an all around sport talk show in general regarding Inside the Lines, and all debuts tomorrow. But first of all, high school football season in the Memphis area, and Arkansas should be starting up soon in Wes's neck of the woods, starting I believe next week. A matter of fact, as well. So some interesting games that really has stand out. Yesterday was a little bit of a shocking by the score outcomes, but White Station played Christianburg yesterday, and Christianburg won that game 41-0. White Station is in a competitive region, with Collierville and all of them, but just the being shut out your first game, I was kind of surprised by the score in that one. And then you got a Highway 51 battle yesterday up in Tipton County, where Mufford and Covington squared off. And Covington, with that running attack they just ran all over Mufford, it seemed. And Covington won that game 34-0. But me and Wes like to talk about lists on our show on a sports buffet, here are some games that might stand out to people if they actually want to go out and watch some games this weekend or tonight. And I'll kick off start at 7 o'clock Central Time at these local schools. But a game that kind of stands out, you got Mace, Memphis Academy Science and Engineering, coached by Cedric Miller, playing at Lausanne with Coach Kevin LeCastro. You really don't know what to expect on the team. And Lausanne and Mace as well, you get two athletic programs on both sides of coaching staffs, whatnot. But an interesting matchup at Lausanne. That's one game that can stand out. But get there early. Parking is kind of limited at Lausanne. You got another one, Bartlett versus MUS. Bartlett is led by Jerron Johnson and Cam Alexander, the quarterback and running back duo. And then you got Chase Sutton and others out there for the Bartlett defense, and Austin Howard as well. But to lose that game last year under a new coaching staff and Chris Smith and company, 37-0. Bartlett hosts MUS in that one. And then, of course, MUS has a new coaching staff this year. They are kind of young in some spots. But if you want to watch another game that's kind of interesting regarding D2 AAA school, MUS at Bartlett, a 6A school, that's interesting. And then Briarcrest under year two and Coach Phil Massey. How is Briarcrest going to compete in this game? Right off the bat, they have no cupcake on the schedule. They travel to Houston High School Mustangs and Coach Thomas and company. And Houston, as you know, Wes, they are led by so many great seniors and great football players on that football team. So how are the Saints gonna compete in this year 2 under Coach Massey right off the bat? And they play at a Houston High School Mustang team where Houston definitely wants to win back-to-back state championship this year. But go out and support, these kids in general. If you got time tonight, and go out, buy some at the concession stand, whether you're supporting the football team or supporting the local band as well. So go out and support the kids because they definitely need it this high school football season.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Good stuff, John. Good stuff right there on the Memphis Prep Report. And we're going to start doing that every week here on the Friday edition, as we'll just start. We'll preview a preview of what John's show is going to be. So, no, be a lot of fun, man. Be a lot of fun. John, it's time to get to the dessert portion of the show. And as you know, man, we love a good list around here. So let's get to it. Top 5 NFL stadiums to visit. I will start.
Okay, especially this year. Woo.
Yeah. So top 5. I have 3 honorable mention, by the way.
Okay.
My first honorable mention.
AT&T Stadium.
No, I've been there.
I know. I'm just big fan.
I said at the top of that sucker. I saw that stadium, buddy. Trust me. I was at the top. I mean, I wasn't at the top, but I was at the top level. It was
you were up
top.
there.
Anyway. Yeah, I was up there. Hell yeah, I was. But I had fun. I love
it. The SeatGeek promo. Okay.
Dude, exactly. That's funny. That's really funny. I wish I had that then. Boy, we could have made some money there. Damn. That's a good idea. All right. So sorry, you got my mind wandering for bowl season. All right. So top 5 NFL stadiums to visit, man. I got 3 honorable mentions. My first one is going to be Jacksonville. I've seen this stadium watching AEW wrestling numerous times because Daly's place is right there inside the stadium. So it's like a little ballroom type deal inside the stadium. Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. Definitely one I've got to visit. My second honorable mention is, and it's kind of crazy because I lived out there for a short period of time, but I want to go to Charlotte, and I want to go to the Panther Stadium. The cool looking little Panther thing outside the front stadium, I mean, hey, our guy Tony's been there. No telling how many times. As well as Tyler Butler and others. Oh, dude, yeah. But I mean, those guys have been out there. But that's my second one. My third honorable mention, man, it's got to be Buffalo. But the problem with that is I know it's going to be cold. And I've seen some Buffalo games. Ain't no daggum way I'd sit in that, brother. Ain't no way. Them folks are crazy. I mean, look, we've had blizzard-like conditions here in Fayetteville, Arkansas for the last 2 winters. So I'm slowly becoming accustomed to some daggum winter weather, but not Buffalo, folks. Not Buffalo. But that is a stadium I do want to visit. Maybe a preseason game or something, when it's warm. All right. Top 5. Here we go. Number 5 has got to be, it's Kansas City. It's only 5 hours down the road from me, but it's Kansas City. I want to go to Arrowhead, man. That's one stadium. I don't care where I sit. I want to go to Arrowhead. I want to feel that stadium and feel what that stadium is like. For sure. No doubt. Number 4 is Denver. It's another stadium that I want to go feel. I want to go see what that's like. Don't care where I sit. I've heard that's an incredible stadium to go see a game at.
Right on
Number 3. Yep. Number 3. Yep. Number 3 is Lambeau, man. Think about that. I put Lambeau at 3 on my list. Yeah, it's Lambeau. And that's about as iconic as they come, man. You know what I mean? Like that's iconic there. But the problem was that, with time comes change, and the top 2 stadiums are newer stadiums that have been built. And that is I want to go to Las Vegas, dude. I want to go to that stadium. That stadium looks incredibly badass. I've got to get out there. And then right now, man, my number one to visit is Atlanta. I want to go to that new stadium. Yes, I want to go to that new stadium. I haven't been there. I've been told it's pretty daggum cool. I want to go there. It's really a tie, John. So it's a tie between Atlanta and Minnesota. I want to go to both of those stadiums. Um,
Minnesota.
I, yeah, yeah. I want to go to both of them, man. I want to go. I want to go see what it's like. I want to feel Skull. Is what I want to feel. I want to feel the whole crowd just. That's freaking awesome, dude. That is badass. So yeah, that's my top five. Is it different? Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It is. I know it's a little bit different, man. But that's my top five. I think that'd be a fun five list or five stadiums to go to, and if I had my chance, I would do it.
Especially this year, in general, you brought up the great ones already. But yeah, man, number 5. Well, my honorable mission before they get rid of it and put a new stadium up, you gotta do Nissan Stadium. Especially this year when you got different, teams that you haven't really seen go to Nashville lately in general. Like the Bengals are traveling to Nashville this year, so you probably have more Bengal fans than Titan fans maybe in that building. But my honorable mention right now is Nissan Stadium. My number 5.
That place is fun.
Yeah, my number
That place
before they
is
get
a lot
rid of
fun.
it, at
Sorry,
least.
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
Yeah, no, that
before
that
they get
place
rid
is a
of it, you gotta do
lot of
Nissan,
fun,
right?
dude. I was there. Vinatieri, I believe, was. I'm trying. They played Indianapolis.
Mhm.
Manning was the quarterback of the Colts. I was there. I was sitting in the corner of the end zone when the Titans nailed that long field goal. It was like Christmas, around Christmas,
Yeah.
because the very next day, Clemson played Kentucky in the Music City Bowl, and I went to that
Oh
game
wow.
too. Yep.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, my number 5, I'm gonna do MetLife Stadium in good old New York, home of the New York Giants and New York Jets. Jets. So that'll be my number 5. Number 4, you brought up Denver. I would love to go see a game in Power Field at Mile High. Not when it's freaking 15 degree under wind chill though, but yeah, definitely in Power Field at Mile High is on my list at number 4. Number 3, you brought up Arrowhead already. Who doesn't love what they do down in Arrowhead? And who knows? You might see Taylor Swift at number 3. My number 2, well, another honorable mention, real quick. I forgot the name is Raymond James down in Tampa. So shout out! I want to see that pirate ship they got, in behind the end zone. So that's my another honorable mention, by the way, for Raymond James. My number 2,
Great one.
Lambeau Field. You brought up Green Bay. As a person that I know, Mark Healy. Shout out Mark Healy. He went to the Kansas City Chiefs and Green Bay Packer game last year down in good old in Lambeau in Green Bay, where they had 3 to 5 inches of snow on the ground. In general, and Mark Healy told me straight up, he's like, man, you got to do it. Once in a lifetime thing to do. It might not, I don't want to go when it's cold outside, but that game was on a Sunday night, like at 7 o'clock, and the temperatures were down to like 10 degrees. My number 1, like you brought up, I had a tie for number 1. Mercedes-Benz down in Atlanta. I've heard it's a good venue for not only the SEC championship, but also concerts, in general as well. But it was tied with SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. So there's just so many great games. Like, for example, the Chiefs played the Falcons this year at Mercedes-Benz. And that's one game that I definitely want to see how crazy those ticket prices actually are going to be for that game, because tickets right now for that game are probably going to be $400 to $500 in that nosebleeds. So definitely going to be interesting down that road.
No doubt. Folks, you need tickets. You need tickets for a play. You want to go see Hamilton. You want to go see Wicked. You want to go see Mamma Mia. You want to go see a play. You're going to take your girl. You want to take your guy, whatever.
Hey, Sam Hunt's performing
can help
tonight in
you.
Memphis. Come on.
There you go. There you go. Sam Hunt. You can go right now. SeatGeek. We got a promo code for you that'll save you $20 off your first ticket purchase. You don't believe us? Do this. Go to SeatGeek, create an account, write your password down so you don't forget it. That's step number 3 is always very important. Step number 4, go in there and find you any ticket, $50 or more. When you do, type in 4-Star Sports Media and we will save you $20 off that ticket purchase. I promise you it works. But college football seasons are right around the corner. And we got NASCAR still going on. We got golf still going on. We got the LPGA is going to be up here in Rogers, Arkansas next month. That's going to be an exciting. All these things require tickets, folks. When you do, don't forget about us here at 4-Star Sports Media because we're thinking about you. And we want you to use the same ticket supplier that we do, and that is SeatGeek. So we're geeks for seats, and we want you to be too, okay? John Starbuck, appreciate you coming on, man. Looking forward to your show tomorrow night, as well as looking forward to Over Under on Sunday. And then we're right back in the buffet next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Plus, by the way, I got to give a quick shout out to Blake and Ashton, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys on Hogs Happy Hour do an incredible job week in, week out, man. They do a good job. They were back last night, their show and all of our shows. But go listen to their show specifically. Obviously, listen to this one too. But go listen to their show from last night, man. Great show talking all things Arkansas Razorbacks. Man, they do an incredible job. But head over to 4star.live. It's our official website where you can find all of our content. That's articles, that's podcasts, that's everything. Plus incredible photos from Madison Pinkey, our photographer here at 4-Star Sports Media, as well as John D. James, our good friend over at Hogville, who allows us to use his photos. John Sturtevant will be back on tomorrow night talking all things Memphis prep and more on Inside the Lines, and then we'll be back on Sunday with Over Under as we figure out who's over, who's under, and who's over as far as a regular season, perfect season, because on Sunday we'll be talking a little bit about what happened on Saturday as well. All that and more right here on the 4-Star Sports Media Network, where we talk all things, not just one thing. John, appreciate you coming on, man.
Enjoy your day.